It's me, Kelly, with Kelly Tenen and Associates. And we've been talking about strategies for employee engagement. Workforce disconnect was a little bit of what we touched on last week. But this week I wanted to talk about some strategies for employee engagement and how to keep employees engaged. And this is a really hard topic because there's a lot to it, but there's a couple of things that I want to touch on. One of them is psychological safety. Now, psychological safety sounds like this big, scary scientific word, but it's really not. It just means to create a safe environment for people to make mistakes, for people to iterate, and for people to process information without retribution or being yelled at or being shamed. And this phenomenon was studied extensively, or is studied extensively, by Amy Edmondson, who is a professor at Harvard. She actually wrote a really good book on the topic. It's called Teaming. It's been out for several years now. I found the book to be really good and really helpful. I found it to be one of those reads that you have to actually kind of read and take notes. At least that was my experience with the book. So if you do grab it, be prepared to it's a thinker, so to speak. But it's a great book. And psychological safety doesn't mean that, hey, I'm going to spill my guts to you. I'm going to share everything with you. But it's the ability to be open into sharing mistakes, sharing information without retribution, but to really make products and services better. And I like this concept, and it actually kind of came up in a different way in another book that I'm reading. Again, I think I told you guys that I'm a big reader. And it's in the book Creativity, Inc. And this book was written by Ed Catmull, who is one of the founders of Pixar. So Pixar made one of my favorite movies, Up. And Ed references Edward Deming, Ed and Edward. Deming, who's kind of the founder, or I guess you could call him the founder or the guru of quality, so to speak. But he talks about how Edward Deming, went to Japan, post-World War II Japan, and helped many of the Japanese organizations with their manufacturing processes, and found out that, long story short, that many of those that were on the assembly line didn't have the ability to stop the assembly line if they saw something that was a mistake, that somebody with seniority had to do that. Well, he had kind of shifted that thought process within these organizations to make it where anybody had the ability to stop the assembly line. And they noticed a decrease in mistakes. They noticed an uptick in productivity and the quality of the products because they had given agency or the authority and the ownership of everybody to really kind of take ownership of that product that they were producing. So it really left them feeling empowered. And so I just want to encourage you to think about what are some ways that you can give more agency to your individuals, or really create an environment where everybody has a seat at the table. I think that that's really important. And then developing a coaching plan to assist with the professional development of your team. So identifying current ways that maybe you are developing your talent, or ways that you could improve developing your talent. But also training leaders on how to coach individuals one-on-one. I don't think as leaders, as decision makers, or as stakeholders in our organizations that we get any training on how to actually coach people and how to actually help them grow professionally. And so have we afforded those opportunities to our team to be able to learn to coach their teammates or those people that they lead, so that they can bring up those individuals in the organization? And maybe that's also an opportunity for mentoring programs, which I know I've mentioned before, or some cross-training as well in the organization. So just some different strategies, really quick strategies on how to engage with your team. Just some quick strategies there on how to engage with your team and help drive employee engagement at your organization. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about what the future of work holds and upskilling and reskilling. So with that, I'm signing off. This is Kelly Tennant with Kelly Tennant and Associates. If you like this content, subscribe. Check out our newsletter that comes out weekly on Wednesdays, and you can find us on social media as well. We'll talk to you soon.